Welcome to the Well-Architected Framework. Build it right the first time. AWS has reviewed thousands of customer architectures to understand what works, what fails, and what costs too much. They've distilled this collective experience into a free, actionable framework that any business can use on their infrastructure. This program is Module 6, Episode 4 of the AWS and Cloud Foundation series, brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team.
The AWS Well-Architected Framework is a structured set of best practices across 6 pillars. It's used to evaluate customer workloads and exists as a reference document and a free tool in the AWS console. The framework helps you avoid costly errors like unexpected bills or security breaches by providing an actionable checklist based on real-world deployments. The 6 pillars target distinct dimensions of architectural quality. They include operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. Together, they cover everything from day-to-day operations to long-term environmental responsibility. While enterprise customers have AWS solutions architects conduct formal reviews, the Well-Architected Framework gives your team the exact same criteria to identify and remediate gaps. This objective checklist surfaces gaps before they turn into outages, security incidents, or surprise bills without requiring an enterprise contract. The AWS Well-Architected tool is a free tool in the Management Console. It guides you through a questionnaire for each pillar, generating a risk report with high-risk findings and medium-risk findings. The process involves defining a workload, answering questions, reviewing the risk report, and building your roadmap. Pillar 1, Operational Excellence, focuses on running, monitoring, and improving systems for continuous business value. Key gaps for SMBs are observability, change management, and runbooks and playbooks. Make sure you have workload metrics, use automated deployments, and document your incident response procedures. Pillar 2, Security addresses identity, access controls, detection, data protection, and incident response. This pillar often produces immediate high-risk findings, such as weak IAM policies or lack of MFA. Ensure you have detective controls like guard duty and CloudTrail, and encrypt data at rest and in transit. Pillar 3, Reliability evaluates if your workload can recover from failures, acquire resources dynamically, and consistently meet demand. A single AZ architecture without automated failover is a high-risk item. Focus on redundancy, automated backup and restore, and fault isolation techniques like autoscaling and SQS decoupling. Pillar 4, Performance efficiency involves using the right resource types at the right size and staying current with AWS options. This pillar catches over-provisioned instances and wrong architectural choices. Focus on right-sizing compute, selecting the correct database, and optimizing network architecture with content delivery layers like CloudFront. Pillar 5, Cost optimization is where you find immediate savings. The framework helps identify anti-patterns, like idle resources, over-provisioned instances, or missing savings plans. Key focus areas include expenditure awareness through tagging, maximizing commitment discounts for stable workloads, and implementing resource lifecycle management policies. Pillar 6, Sustainability, added in 2021, focuses on minimizing the environmental impact of cloud workloads. Achieve this through efficient resource usage, like right sizing and auto-scaling to 0. Also, choose managed services over self-managed workloads for efficiency, and select lower carbon regions when latency allows. A well-architected review is a focused self-assessment that can be completed quickly. The 4 steps are defining your workload, completing the questionnaire, prioritizing the findings, and building a remediation roadmap. The result is an actionable list of improvements with supporting AWS documentation. Step 1, Define your workload. A workload is a discrete application or service that delivers business value. Start your first review with your production workload, as this is where the ROI on remediation is clearest. For teams new to the framework, focus initially on the security and reliability pillars for faster, actionable findings. Step 2, Answer the questionnaire. Answer based on what is deployed today, not what you plan to build next. Be honest, as aspirational answers hide risk. Use the question does not apply options sparingly, only for genuine exceptions. Finally, involve the right subject matter experts to ensure a complete review. Step 3, Understanding the risk report. High-risk items are significant gaps that should be treated as a prioritized remediation backlog and addressed within your next sprint. Medium-risk items are best practice gaps that carry long-term risk and should be part of your quarterly roadmap. Every finding links to specific AWS documentation for implementation guidance. Step 4. Prioritize findings based on 2 dimensions: business impact and implementation effort. Your quick wins are high-impact, low-effort fixes, such as enabling guard duty or MFA for the root account. Complete these first, ideally within the first week. Step 5. Build your remediation roadmap. Weeks 1 to 2 focus on quick wins. Sprint 1 tackles architecture fixes, like multi-AZ deployments. Quarter 2 addresses medium-risk items. Finally, establish a quarterly cadence for ongoing reviews to track progress over time. In the demo, we open the AWS Well-Architected tool and define a multi-tier web application workload. This architecture includes EC2 behind an ALB, an RDS multi-AZ database, S3 storage, and IAM role access. Feel free to follow along in your own AWS console. The security pillar walkthrough addresses identity foundation, detective controls, data at rest, and incident response. For this simulated workload, we see best practices met for identity and data at rest, but a medium-risk item for detective controls and a high-risk item for the lack of a formal incident response runbook. The cost optimization pillar addresses expenditure awareness, cost-effective resources, and managing demand and supply. The risk report surfaces 2 HRIs and 2 MRIs. The most impactful HRI is the lack of a savings plan for stable EC2 compute, which the tool links directly to a one-click fix. The risk report dashboard gives you an immediate visual summary of your workload's health. It highlights best practices met, medium-risk items, and high-risk items. Treat this risk report as your prioritized work queue or sprint backlog for remediation. Well-architected lenses are specialized extensions of the core framework for specific industries or use cases. Examples include the serverless lens, the SaaS lens, and the healthcare industry lens. Apply these lenses to your workloads, just as you apply the core 6 pillars. The AWS Well-Architected Partner Program enables certified partners to conduct formal reviews. This adds rigor and accountability, especially for high-stakes workloads. Consider a partner review before a major launch, after an incident, or as part of an annual audit. The Well-Architected Framework acts as the governance layer for everything built in this series. Here, we map the 6 pillars to the architectural components covered, noting common gaps to verify in your own workload. The Well-Architected Review is a practice, not a project. Use it before launching new workloads and after significant architectural changes. Treat a full annual review as your infrastructure health check, similar to a financial audit. Avoid common pitfalls. During the review, answer honestly based on what is deployed today, don't skip uncomfortable pillars, and involve subject matter experts. After the review, don't treat findings as optional, and schedule future reviews on a regular cadence. Track key metrics over time to demonstrate improvement. Target 0 high-risk items. Aim for your first review within 90 days. Commit to completing all 6 pillars, and establish a quarterly or annual review cadence, depending on your workload's complexity. The Well-Architected Assessment Checklist is a condensed, one-page self-assessment for all 6 pillars. It helps technical leaders and business owners get a quick health check without opening the AWS console. It includes scoring and prioritized action lists. Your action plan this week. Day 1, download and complete the checklist. Days 2 to 3, define your workload in the tool and complete the security and reliability pillars. Day 4, review the risk report. Days 5 to 7, build your roadmap and schedule your next review. Key takeaways. The framework is free and readily available in the AWS console. The findings are invaluable, mitigating risks like outages or breaches. Make the review a regular practice. And remember that for high-stakes workloads, you don't have to do it alone. The partner program is available.